When Rome's banners filled the horizon, it was not only emperors who shaped destiny, it was the men who led legions into the unknown. These generals built empires, broke nations, and made Rome a name that whispered fear across continents. Publius Cornelius Scipio Africanus stands at the dawn of that legend. Facing Hannibal's shadow, an invader who crossed Alps and terrified Italy, Scipio chose audacity over caution. He carried the war to Africa, forcing Hannibal to abandon his Italian campaign. At Zama he exploited formation and sound, creating gaps that let elephants pass harmlessly, then turned onto their own ranks. His victory shattered Carthage's power and assured Rome's dominance in the west. Gaius Marius rewired Rome's military heart. Born outside the aristocracy, he opened the legions to the landless, turning fighting men into a professional army bound to the general who led them. This reform filled Rome's ranks with trained, disciplined soldiers and shaped a new political reality: loyalty to commanders over republic institutions. On the battlefield, Marius was ruthless. Against the Teutones and Cimbri he destroyed entire invading hosts and earned 7 consulships. Lucius Cornelius Sulla answered ambition with iron. Once allied with Marius, he turned on the Republic when deprived of his command and marched on Rome itself. His dictatorship redefined power, judicial overhaul, weakened tribunes, and the brutal practice of proscription, public lists that legalized murder and confiscation. Sulla's reign proved that armies could change governments, and that precedent outlived him. Pompey the Great rose from early triumphs to legendary authority. Tasked with clearing the Mediterranean of pirates, he commanded fleets and men, reorganized patrols, and restored Rome's grain supply within months. His eastern campaigns expanded the Republic's reach and filled his coffers with glory. He joined Caesar and Crassus in the first triumvirate, but rivalry and ambition would turn ally into adversary. Julius Caesar turned military genius into political destiny. In Gaul he fought, engineered sieges, and mastered logistics, most famously at Alesia where double fortifications crushed Vercingetorix. Wealth and soldiers' loyalty made him powerful. Crossing the Rubicon was war by decree. Civil conflict made him dictator. He reformed law and calendar, centralized authority, and altered Rome forever, until conspirators silenced him on the Ides of March. Mark Antony, Caesar's right hand, combined oratory and battlefield skill with political opportunism. After Caesar's death he took up arms, formed the Second Triumvirate, and ruled the East. His alliance and romance with Cleopatra transformed politics into theater and gave Octavian the pretext to brand him un-Roman. Defeated at Actium, Antony chose death over submission, closing the chapter on republican struggle. Marcus Vipsanius Agrippa was the shadow behind Augustus's throne. Not of noble birth but of brilliant mind, he commanded the fleet at Actium and executed logistics and tactics that decided Rome's fate. Beyond war he engineered Rome's infrastructure, aqueducts, ports, and public works that stabilized the empire. Agrippa showed that power wielded wisely could outlast mere titles. Germanicus became the soldier's hero, avenging the humiliation of the Teutoburg disaster and restoring Roman honor on the Rhine. Charismatic, brave, and beloved by troops, he led campaigns into Germanic forests, recovered lost standards, and inflicted punishing blows on foes like Arminius. His mysterious death after returning to Rome fueled suspicion and made him a martyr of republican nostalgia. Gnaeus Julius Agricola pushed Rome's frontier into Britain's fog. As governor he combined firm military action with administrative integration, building roads, forts, and linking tribal elites into Roman networks. At Mons Graupius his legions smashed Caledonian resistance, expanding Rome's practical control to the empire's edge and leaving a footprint in stone and road that outlived individual careers. Drusus the Elder extended Rome's reach into Germania with daring campaigns, winning loyalty by sharing risk with his soldiers. His bridge building and river crossings dragged Rome into lands once deemed impassable, and his popularity with troops and people alike made him a symbol of Rome's youthful vigor. His premature death at 30 robbed Rome of a commander whose blend of bravery and humility inspired generations. Scipio's genius reached beyond the battlefield. He forged alliances, used diplomacy and restraint to secure Rome's future. His victories were psychological as well as martial, shattering Carthage's aura and planting Roman authority across the western Mediterranean. Marius changed Rome's army and its politics. By recruiting the landless, he created professional legions whose loyalty shifted toward commanders. Those veterans later proved a volatile political force, an instrument for generals who sought personal power as much as victory. Sulla weaponized law and precedent. His march on Rome and the terror of proscription normalized political murder and asset seizure. Even when he surrendered power, the idea that a commander could reshape Rome by force endured and echoed in civil wars. Pompey combined naval power with administrative skill. Clearing the Mediterranean of pirates saved Rome's economy, while his eastern settlements turned conquest into structured rule. He showed how logistics and swift action could make a commander indispensable. Caesar perfected propaganda and the art of consent. Conquests in Gaul made him wealthy, loyal troops made him dangerous. Crossing the Rubicon ended debate and began a transformation. His reforms centralized authority, but his assassination proved ambition breeds fear. Antony's downfall was image and alliance. His bond with Cleopatra offered resources but gave Octavian a moral weapon. Defeated at Actium, Antony's fate showed that reputation and politics often decide outcomes as much as force. Agrippa turned victory into stability. More than a general, he built aqueducts, ports, and baths that bound provinces to Rome. Tactical brilliance plus civic works made peace durable. Germanicus restored honor after Teutoburg. Recovering standards and striking Germanic tribes healed wounds and rekindled pride. His suspicious death made him a symbol of a lost age. Agricola extended Rome and Britain by blending pressure with integration. Roads, forts, and elite partnerships turned resistance into structured rule and left a lasting footprint. Drusus opened routes on the northern frontier. His engineering and willingness to share risk with soldiers won loyalty and created passages used by armies and traders for generations. Together, these leaders show Rome's paradox. The same reforms that forged an empire also empowered men who could remold it. They advanced tactics, logistics, and infrastructure, but their ambitions and armies reshaped Roman politics. Their stories are warnings about power, loyalty, and the cost of supremacy. Their legacies show empires rise by strategy and fall to ambition and fractured loyalties.